Okay, we got to talk about two teams here in the Central Division who have not looked good. I don't think I'm surprising anybody by saying that. They haven't looked like good teams, and that is the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild. Now, these are two teams that one of us we were not so high on. The other side of us we were pretty high on. We were all high on St. Louis collectively. Most of us weren't high on Minnesota. So it's kind of a tale of both sides. So St. Louis so far this year, 3-7-2, 8 points, a minus 17 goal differential. When you guys look at the St. Louis Blues, what's the biggest thing that you see that is a problem with this team right now?
The New Jerseys.
The New Jerseys are fine, man.
No. I just played. Honestly, I'm gonna say, and maybe this is wrong, but I don't think they're playing very well offensively. Like the goal support, goaltending is also an issue. I don't know what if Binnington has been. Hover's been bad. Hover's been real bad. Binnington, I don't know what his stats are, but I'll be honest, I have not watched many St. Louis games this year. But I think their goal support and then defending a lead. Like they get a lead, poof, gone.
So they are ranked lower in the goals for column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're ranked 8th worst in goal differential. Keep in mind they're tied with a couple of teams there. They have a minus 17 goal differential. What I really wanted to point out here is their goaltending, because LeBlanc, you're right. Binnington and Hofer have both the 5th and 6th worst goals saved above expected. Both of them are in the bottom 10 there in goals saved above expected. And for those who don't really follow advanced analytics that much, that is not good to be that low in that overall stat. So that's the biggest factor there with them. What's that?
Mamma mia.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. Their goaltending has not been good. And I think, again, for a team that really struggled last year with a good start to the season, like, this is a problem. It is. Again, like, you look last year, and I'm going to go back here for some context. On November 2nd, this time last year, they had a record. They were a little bit better. They were 6-6 this time. But as the month went on, they had so lackluster goaltending even still through to that point. So last year they started off really bad with their goaltending, and this year they're starting off really bad with their goaltending. It was really important that St. Louis started off their season good because of the fact you see the teams they're competing with there in the playoffs. And I'm overall just really disappointed with the way that they've looked. And their goaltending has been a massive factor. Any thoughts, Tim?
Yeah, goaltending has been a big issue. I just had it pulled up. Hofer's stat line might be one of the worst stat lines I've ever seen in my life.
That's a lot coming from you, man.
Yeah, he's got a .829 save percentage and a 5.16 goals against.
829?
5 games. In 5 games.
Yeah, in 5 games. He has an 829.
Oh my God, in 5 games.
And a 5.16 goals against.
Jesus Christ.
Like, it's worse than I thought it was. And I watched St. Louis just like twice in the past week because the Wings have played them both times. One of them,
that's an 844 average, by the way.
Yeah, one of them, the Wings got out. St. Louis was out to a 4-0 lead, and Wings rattled off 6 straight. So for St. Louis, it's the goaltend. They're not getting the saves they need to. The other thing is, there's just not an influx of youth in this lineup, and you can see with the way they play. Like,
influx of youth. There's young guys on this team.
Yeah, there is, but I feel like they could be used. Like you have Snuggerud, Holloway, Broberg,
Mayu's there. Yeah, he hasn't been that great.
And outside of that, it's just like the team's just more old and kind of mid. So I feel like if you could go for a semi retool, like trade some guys at like the deadline and in the offseason, trade some guys at the deadline, it would not be the worst thing in the world for St. Louis to be a bottom 5 to 10 team in the league this year.
Do they have their pick?
Especially with
They do. They should.
Okay.
I believe they do. Like this is like the perfect draft for them to be in like that bottom 10 spot. Maybe get lucky in the lottery, which I still think is a myth. That's a whole different story. But yeah, it's just the biggest thing with St. Louis is the goaltending. They're not getting the saves.
Yeah, totally. Again, like if their goaltending can improve, I think they're back there. They have the 5th worst goals for above expected, which for that stat, and I'm going to bring that up here with Minnesota. The problem is with them is they're not scoring. They're not getting goals. They're not getting goals on the board, and that is not good enough. They're actually 2nd worst in goals against above expected there too. So Ottawa's number 3. Anyway, I think that for St. Louis to improve, they have to get their goaltending back on track, but they also need to start scoring here too. There's no players that are a point per game on this roster currently. You look at Jake Neighbors, leads their team in scoring, 6 goals in 8 games played. He's their best guy right now. And I'm not seeing the production that I saw last year. And even a guy you look at like Cam Fowler, who Fowler got signed to that contract during this season, or not during this offseason. He has 4 assists through those 12 games played, -8. They've just been overall very brutal in terms of their defensive play, and I'm not a fan of it. It's not good. It's not good, honestly.
They're saying they're having a tough time scoring? Ooh, it's like they traded away a young 20-goal scorer for a top 4 defenseman, and now he's thriving on an Atlantic Division team. Who could that be? Zach Bolduc. Why? Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Now that move now looks way worse than it should.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. Yeah, again, like just defensively, they haven't looked that great either. Like, again, it's the 3rd of November when this podcast is uploading. I feel like we need to, like, we're definitely not overreacting, but I feel like definitely need to just calm down and wait for things to improve upon itself. But if we don't see that soon, then there's a real problem there, because from what I've seen, I'm not a fan of how they've been playing so far. So there you go. There's that. Their goaltending is a massive factor, though, when you look at their overall stats. Another team, and again, we talked about St. Louis and Minnesota. They are the other team that is struggling right now. They are slightly better than the Blues. Their goaltending slightly better, but they're still not playing that great. They are 4-6-3. They have 11 points. They have the worst goals for above expected. When you guys look at Minnesota, what do you think is their biggest problem there?
John Hines.
It might be. It might be John Hines. It might be.
I mean, that's the low hanging fruit, because the one thing that was struggling. They were struggling with last year was power play. They couldn't get the power play going. Then you bring in Zeev Buium comes in this year. Now their power play's fixed. And now all of a sudden, their whole 5-on-5 offense is gone. Like,
yeah,
John Hines and 5-on-5 offense are the 2 things that they're struggling with the most.
They have really struggled with just getting goals 5v5. Like, their power play is awesome. Like, you look at their power play, it's one of the best in the league. Here's the problem, though. It really dried up their 5v5 offense. Like, they have a 29% power play right now. They're ranked 5th in the league. That's really good. That's really freaking good. When you look at their 5v5 numbers, it's been very, very lackluster. And again, like, that is something that, like, you're not going to be on the power play forever. You're not going to always be on the power play. I will say this, though. They are last in expected goals for, so maybe they're just struggling to put goals up there, and there's that. I also think defensively they haven't been the prettiest either. Their goaltending could be better, but it's not like St. Louis level bad. It's not great either. Gustafsson, .895. I think that could be better, but yeah, I need to see 5v5 results.
It's almost like Gustafsson is, say it with me now. Say it with me now.
Odd year merchant.
This beat goes on, but we've seen teams make the playoffs with really bad 5-on-5 numbers. I want to point to Ottawa last year. Ottawa was 30th in 5-on-5 points and still managed to make the playoffs because they had a very good power play like Minnesota does. Now, can Minnesota turn this around? I believe they can turn it around, but
both teams can. Both of these two teams can.
Oh yeah,
but the longer Minnesota strays out of the path of the playoffs, the lower and lower the hanging fruit becomes. John Hines just gets fired. Break out the flamethrower on the damn tree because this is hockey. Coaches don't last long.
You were hired to be fired, pretty much, and we've said that saying in multiple different episodes on this podcast over the 2 years we've been doing it. And I think that from what I've seen, I feel like Hines is probably going to be fired soon. If they don't improve, he's probably going to be the first guy that gets fired, which you look at the free agent coaches, who is currently just hanging there waiting for a job right now?
Peter DeBoer.
Now, Pete DeBoer, again, he's had a lot of controversy, but he has been known to take teams far. That is one thing that he has no doubt about. He's a 2 to 3 year coach, but he's very good in those 2 to 3 years. So I feel like if Minnesota keeps struggling more and more, and the worse they get, they gotta message Pete DeBoer and ask him, "Hey, would you come over here to the State of Hockey and coach us?"
Listen, they need a coach who's gonna have Kaprizov scared for his life. They gotta go get Torts.
Oh my! Imagine.
He hates those Russians. No, that's not happening. He signed that deal with ESPN. He's going back.
No. I'm just joking.
Imagine James is right about this one, though.
My God, man, I'd lose it. We haven't seen Torts that much on the ESPN panel.
No, we haven't.
Either he's keeping quiet, or maybe there's something brewing there with Minnesota. You never know.
With John Hines does he make it to Thanksgiving?
No. There's no shot.
If they get better, yes.
Wait, sorry. If they get better, if they keep losing, hell no.
No, he'll be gone by Thanksgiving. He might be gone by the end of the week. Like if they keep racking up losses.
They just beat Vancouver 5-2, so that's a sign of something good. But Vancouver is meh.
Vancouver this year,
yeah. Vancouver is Vancouver.
Vancouver's meh. So I really don't.
Okay, they just beat this. They're up their next 5 games. Home against Nashville, on the road in a back-to-back against Carolina and the Islanders. And then you're at home for Calgary and San Jose.
You should be able to win 4 of those 5.
You should be able to win 4 of those.
If you come out of that going 2-3, goodbye. I'm not gonna...
2 and 3 or worse. Yeah, I would argue. But I don't know. One more thing I wanted to point out here in a little bit of a tidbit. David Jiricek, 9 games played, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 points, -2 of the Minnesota Wild. I just want to put this out there to the world. They gave up a first, a second, and a third for that player, and he has 0 points so far.
Say it with me now.
I just want to put that out there.
Bust.
I don't know about bust. I think that's a flop. Well, yeah, probably bust, but I think that's a flop
bust
there from Bill Guerin.
It's a flop from Guerin, but the pick in general from was it Jersey or Columbus?
Columbus.
Columbus.
Yeah, just in general, the pick. Jiricek, the player, is a bust, but this trade from Guerin, this might be one of. Would you say this is probably the worst trade he's made in Minnesota?
Yeah.
David Jiricek to Minnesota for Damon Hunt, a first-round pick, a second-round pick, a third-round pick, and a fourth-round pick. 3 of those picks haven't been used yet, so I do want to just put that out to the world. I think they traded one of those picks to Colorado, but anyway.
Who did Columbus use that first-round pick on?
Pyotr Andrianov.
All right,
the goalie.
That could potentially be a very bad trade
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. You don't know. It's still a ways away from him even coming to the NHL, but
Yeah.
I won't disagree with you. It's not looking pretty. So, what things of these two teams we just discussed? What are the biggest things for both of them that they need to get to turn around?
Goaltending, goaltending, and just 5-on-5 play. Like yeah, I would say those
It's
are
almost
the
like
two.
it's the two. Both teams are having the same issues, just to varying degrees. St. Louis is struggling a hell of a lot more in the crease. Minnesota is struggling a hell of a lot more 5-on-5.
I don't know. I would say St. Louis is really struggling to score overall. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, well, I won't disagree.